Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing very well and you are having a great day. And I hope you're in the mood for an amazing book that I'm about to talk to you guys about and do a full review of Harbor Me by Jacqueline Woodson. Now this book came out on August 28th, so this review is a couple days after that, so you can go and get your copy. This is a Penguin teen book out by that publisher, and I think it's a Nancy Paulson book. That is correct. Nancy Paulson Books, which I think is an imprint of Penguin Teen. For those of you guys that don't know Jacqueline Woodson, she is a phenomenal writer. She wrote an adult novel called Another Brooklyn, which was nominated for the National Book Award. And then her she's written a ton of YA stuff, but Brown Girl Dreaming won the National Book Award. It is a book told in poetry form, and that was my first introduction to her, and it blew my mind. Get the audiobook, get the book, let them read you it. It's an experience. So, but Harbor Me is a book, I think it's being sort of middle grade is where it's being sort of targeted. But I will tell you right now, this book is for adults. This book is for teenagers. This book is for middle grade. Everyone who reads it will get something from it and will be touched by this novel. It is that good. As always, this will be a full review, but no spoilers will be given. I do not want to give anything away. I'm going to talk about the characters, the plot a little bit, and then I'll also talk about the writing, because what I really want and what I am going to impress now at the beginning of this review is please go buy this book and read it with as many young people as you possibly can. So Harbor Me is based in a middle school where we have a group of, at the start, 8 kids that are moved into a special class due to special learning needs that they have. 2 of the children wind up leaving for different reasons, and we are left with our core 6 children. Those core 6 children, I've written their names down. You guys know how I am with names. We have Haley, who is our main narrator, and I'll talk about her a little more. Her best friend, Holly. We have Esteban, whose story sort of starts the book. Amari, Ashton, and Tiago. Now, all of them have their own story inside this book, and I don't want to give any of those stories away. But I'm going to talk about a few of them just as sort of a way to entice you into the book. The novel starts with a simple line. And that line is, "We think they took my poppy." And that is Esteban speaking. Esteban's story is sort of at the crux of how this will all come together. But let me sort of backtrack a little bit. So these 6 kids are in a special class, and one day their teacher, at the end of a Friday, takes them to a room and basically sits them down in the room and says she's going to leave. There will be no adult supervision, and that they are allowed to talk to each other about whatever they want. And they wind up nicknaming the room the art room, a room to talk. And I think that's very clever. And at the beginning, as you can imagine, you put 6 children in a room and you're telling them to talk about whatever. It doesn't always go the way it wants to go. But as they become more friends and also communicate with each other, their stories start to come out. And our main character, Haley, has her uncle purchase her a recorder, and she records the conversation. And it is agreed by these 6 children that in 20 years they will get back together and they will listen to these recordings, and this will sort of be something for them. So there's that part of it. Esteban's story does start the novel. His father has been taken and he doesn't know where. And that's sort of the, I'm going to figure that is sort of the narrative voice for how these children get to express the difficulties they each go through. They're each different, but they all have a same sort of theme, as life is tough for young kids in America. And there are a lot of things that young children go through that this book will just open your eyes to. You guys, it just has a way of not heavy-handed, not preachy, but just introducing you to these ideas of what these children and children across America are experiencing, and how they have to deal with that in the day-to-day. Now, Esteban's story sort of starts and his arc goes through. Haley, we learn, is living with her uncle because her father, and this is very early, this is not a spoiler, her father is in prison and her mother has passed. And she's sort of she's our narrator. She's a step back, which is because she doesn't want to talk so much about herself, but that's a great sort of arc. We have children who are always a little scared to share who they are. Haley will really resonate with them, and her story will definitely resonate. That was who I was. I never wanted to tell anyone about anything I was going through, all through probably high school. I really connected with Haley as a narrator. Holly is her best friend. The reason they become best friends is because Haley is of mixed race. Her uncle does not know how to take care of her hair, and Holly's mom steps in, and she comes over every Friday night to help with her hair and a relationship between the three of them, which is, again, beautifully told in this book. There's so much going on, and each character has their moment where they deal with something. Should it be bullying? Should it be being misjudged for who they are? There's stuff about language, stuff about communication, stuff about racism. But everything is handled in such a manner. Jacqueline Woodson is so brilliant at making you feel for these people, these young kids, and not doing it in such a way where you're feeling like, ugh, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I cried 4 times while I read this book, and I read this book in one day. There is a section, I was going to read it to you. I'm not supposed to read from the arc. That's why I wish I had the purchase copy. But again, supporting my local bookstore in New Orleans, I'm going to purchase this book while I'm there. I'm on hold, but Esteban's father is a poet, and there are some poetry that Esteban brings into the classroom and translates from the Spanish into the English for his classmates. Will rip your heart out. Will rip your heart out. This book does exactly what it needs to do, and it starts conversations. If you are young, it's going to start conversations about recognizing that the people that are in your school, the people that sit right next to you, the people that you're judging one way or another may have stories that you don't understand. If you're a little bit older, it may open your eyes to what younger kids have to deal with and how they have to grow up so fast sometimes. And then as an adult, it totally makes you think about how do you help these children through these difficult situations when you're able, when you're faced with it, and just being in awe of the strength of the youth that is growing up in America. And probably worldwide. I know this really resonated to me as a book about American youth, and I thought it was brilliant. You guys, I really did. So I'm going to tell you to go out, and if you have never bought a middle grade book and read it, buy this one, make this one your entry point. There are many, many amazing middle grade books. Love this book, and then email me and I will give you other titles to go out and purchase. Get this one, get Brown Girl Dreaming. They will blow your mind. Jacqueline Woodson is pretty much perfect when it comes to the way that she just has a story to tell and telling it. So this is Harbor Me. This came out on August 28th, so it is out and available. And I give it a high, high recommendation, and I hope you all pick it up. As always, if you are a return subscriber, I hope you like this video. If you're new to my channel, I hope you like this review. Please go buy this book. And until next time, happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.